Hamlet is a Viking berserker. His name is Björn Ulfur, which means bear wolf. And there's a scene in the movie in which he transforms into a hybrid of a bear and a wolf. So I wanted to look more like a bear than I do.
I'll read virtually anything. Obviously, I'm starting with the sagas and the Eddas and the sort of major history books. But I'm definitely reading the most obscure academic papers that I can find. I'm listening to podcasts and I'm finding university lectures and really everything. And I'm listening to Viking music like 24 hours a day and just really trying to immerse myself in the world. And also working with people in the experimental archaeology and reenactment community who become Vikings on the weekends to try to understand physically how the archaeology works.
My Viking Bible during pre-production and also during the shoot was a movie called Children of Ashen Elm by Neil Price. It's a really fascinating book, and I highly recommend it to anyone who's interested in Norse mythology and Viking culture. That was incredibly informative to me in understanding Hamlet, in understanding the world he existed in understanding his relationship to nature and the deities, the gods, because that was very important too. There's a lot of supernatural elements in the movie that are 100% real to the characters, so it was important to understand that aspect of it.
Similarly, to try to look at the carvings and the statuettes of who we think these particular gods were, read the poetry, and then try to do it in a grounded way. Because again, for a 10th century Nordic person, these are real things. So we have to ground them in reality. There certainly are some depictions of women that we think are probably Valkyries that have less armor than our Valkyrie has, but there's written stuff that is talking about armor, but also audience needs to know that she's a warrior maiden.
In terms of the physicality, Hamlet is a Viking berserker. His name is Björn Ulfur, which means bear wolf. And there's a scene in the movie in which he transforms into a hybrid of a bear and a wolf. So I wanted to look more like a bear than I do. I wanted to portray a character who wasn't human anymore. In the scene that precedes that, he sheds his humanity. It is a ritualistic transformation in which Hamlet goes from being Hamlet to a bear wolf. And in that, the long raid of the village, he is no longer human. He is a predator, an animal. I wanted in his eyes and the way he moved, I wanted it to feel like, again, every shred of humanity was gone and he had turned into a beast. His attention to detail and historical accuracy is extraordinary. And also his way of shooting is quite unique. You definitely don't shoot an action movie like that at the rate of the Slav Village. It's one long continuous shot. It was very demanding physically and mentally because it means that if one tiny detail isn't perfect, you have to go back and do it from the beginning. It's also quite liberating to get to do the whole thing, that it's not quick cuts. You're in it and everything, the whole world around you it's all happening 360 and the camera moves with you, and it's a really amazing experience.
And that's really the only way that I have made films, and I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. I hope people don't get sick of it. It helps clarify what we're doing for the whole team, and we know that we're after accuracy, so that's what we're all after. That I'm looking for stories, I'm not saying this does that, but that are attempting to touch the sublime and the sacred, because why not? This movie is meant to be entertaining, unlike maybe my first two movies, but it's in these ancient myths. It's where I like to understand who we are and where we're going by looking at where we came from.